Hi, this is Joseph Woodruff, your Business Management 320 TA. I'm here as a writing consultant for Brigham Young University, Hawaii, and helping their students craft resumes. For the purpose of this video, I will be showing some tips and tricks that make creating a resume much simpler and easier. As with any document, you should always select your font first, so that you don't have to go back and reselect things. In addition, you should also set appropriate margins. In most resumes, you are allotted a half an inch on both sides. Now, to make this, it's very easy. If you can see right here, this little notch is actually the edge of the paper. And as I move that over, we got some more room here, so we'll move this one first to that half-inch spot. Doing this on all sides makes things much simpler. And I have another one that I'll take you to in a moment that has all of this done. After you've moved the margins, make sure though that you realign these little tickers with it. Otherwise, you'll find yourself having all sorts of different problems trying to get the document to align itself properly. Once you have your font selected and your margins in the correct place, you can begin to craft your resume. Start with your name, your address, and then contact information such as your phone, email, and perhaps some sort of a web. If you have a website that you'd like to use, or in some instances, people can simply put their LinkedIn accounts. Whatever resource you have there that you think would be useful in your resume, this is the place to put it, so they can contact you and learn more about you. Your name should be big. I would recommend at least 36, maybe even bigger if you would like. Take these, and this will be centered. Afterwards, you usually want to put a line. One of the easiest ways to do this is first to click the underline button, and then to simply tab over. This will go the entire edge of the document in a very short amount of time with minimal effort. Some people will try underscores, but this is the way that I recommend doing it. Once you've filled out some information, you've figured out what you like, then it's the time to do some formatting. Not while you're trying to be creative and think of the best way of describing things. So once you get everything down, then go back and do some formatting. Okay? So again, I say format in the beginning, then this the basic things like the font you're going to use in your margins. Then you can go back and format everything else that you would like to, and how to organize it afterwards. This will save you a lot of time. So if you notice right here in the profile section, we have a lot of white space here, and we've got one that is incredibly large. And sometimes this can be avoided, and if you can find a shorter way to write something, that's great, but sometimes you really can't. For example, if this recipient of the Professional Resume Writer Scholarship could be shortened to Professional Resume Writer Scholarship Recipient, you can cut out the word of and the. But in some instances, you can't shorten things. So if we wanted to get all this to fit and fill up this space, well, we've got 6 points. Why don't we try 3 columns? What do you think? Let's try it. 3 columns, right? Okay, so we select 3 columns. Well, we have a problem here, because this one piece of information takes up all this space. We've got a bunch of white space here and a bunch more right there. So how do we fix this? Well, if you go back to Format and select the Columns menu, you can actually set how wide you want everything to be. Not only that, you can also decrease the amount of spacing. So let's try only a 1/4 inch of space. That seems reasonable, yeah? In addition, this portion right here probably only needs, well, let's say 1.25 inches. Okay, let's continue to look here. This section right here probably needs at least 3.5 inches, would be my guess. Well, actually 3.75. Now the wonderful thing about this is it automatically adjusts what you have left. If you think 1.75 might be a bit much for that last section, which it is, then you can take and increase this by changing the spacing there, as well as taking the extra amount, the 0.75 there, and adding it in. So we can have 0.5 inches there in the middle. Alright, let's see what this looks like. Voila! It fits all in that one line. You know, if you just take the time in the columns menu to find out how big things should be and put in the appropriate size spacings, then you will be able to get this profile section to work as you want. It would probably be better formatting, perhaps even to put these two items there and have this hanging off at the end for easier readability, which you can easily figure out how to do taking the principles that we've just taught you. Continuing on, you'll see here this education section, which is formatted correctly, noting the Dean's List and the recipient of the Professional Resume Writer Scholarship, as well as notice here that this is all lined up professionally and flush. Continuing on, we have the Work Experience section, which unfortunately is not. So how do we fix this, alright? Well, typically when you write the resume, you'll have a space and then you'll put in the dates, right? If you hit the Tab key, it'll quickly and easily move things to the edge. Once it goes past, simply go back one tab and then continue the same process with the space bar until it goes past, then go back one. We'll do the same thing here with Laie Hawaii. Once you've done that, you'll notice that this is very flush, but this line here is not. What I find students typically do is try to use the underscore button to enter all this in, and as you can tell, it makes it very tedious to edit. Not only that, sometimes it will not go completely flush with the edge of the document. So, if we remember what we did before, we hit the underline button and then hit the Tab key. But there is usually a problem. Windows has a way of trying to move the formatting with it. Since we don't want that to happen, we'll undo it, which you can do with the backspace button or with Control-Z. Now to do this properly, just simply press one space on the space bar and then Tab. This creates a marker so that Windows does not try to reformat your document automatically. And you'll be able to put in a bar very easily. Following these steps, you should be able to craft the entire resume according to the specifications that you are required. Happy resume writing, and thank you.